If I could interview one person, dead or alive, maybe it would be Jimmy Greaves, as a big Tottenham fan. I interviewed Bukayo Saka, which as a Spurs fan was a very painful experience, but I managed to get in a few jibes during the interview. That was fun, cathartic even. My name is Charlie Campbell. I'm a correspondent for Time magazine based in Singapore, and I studied politics and philosophy at Glasgow. Spend a lot of time at my desk writing news, analysis, features. Probably spend about 1 week in every month on the road, traveling, speaking to people of influence, presidents, prime ministers, CEOs of major companies, traveling to places where extraordinary events are happening. I was in Wuhan at the outset of the pandemic, the day before the lockdown. I reported from the Christchurch mosque massacre. Journalism, generally, we deal with these kind of things often. So in the same way as doctors perhaps or emergency services would develop maybe a gallows humor about this stuff, this is part of our everyday routine. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you, and you have to be quite mindful of it because it can manifest in different ways. From studying politics and philosophy at Glasgow, a lot of the skills and the knowledge which I picked up then are directly transferable. I studied post-Soviet politics as one of the modules, and I lived in China for 9 years, so that was very much a great sort of grounding for understanding the system and everything. Just generally understanding power structures, international relations, this kind of stuff. After I graduated from Glasgow, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I took a year out and traveled around South America and learned some Spanish, and ended up falling into a journalism internship there, writing a few stories. I went back to London and did a post-grad course, ended up working in local newspapers. And then 2008 happened and the industry kind of fell apart. It became much more difficult to progress. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I always wanted to be a foreign correspondent. So in 2009, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, and I moved out to Thailand, and we started writing travel guides, to then joined Time in Hong Kong in 2013. So my journalistic style is defined by Time style, which is sort of longer features, adding understanding and analysis to the news reports. If you have 2,000-3,000 words, you can really delve into the reasons, the drivers behind a specific trend. Often the news is quite divisive. If you're just going to read one particular paper about an issue, say Brexit, say immigration, you're only going to get a drip of certain views, whereas at Time we try to offer a more holistic examination of the drivers and the points of view. While adding colour, we try to find interesting protagonists, people who are doing remarkable things and tell the story through their experiences. The media industry is changing massively at the moment. It's under immense pressure financially. During the pandemic, there was so much focus on news that people thought that there was a rebirth of the media industry, and people got quite buoyant about it. There's a hope that people are turning towards more long form, more nuanced media. Monetizing that is a big challenge. So it's an interesting dynamic in the media industry at the moment. Students wanting to get into journalism, I don't think it particularly matters what course or degree you pursue. My wife would disagree because she did a journalism course. I didn't, and did a postgrad and learned a lot of skills in the job. But languages is, if you want to be a foreign correspondent, languages is number one. Be able to speak to people in their native tongue and understand their cultures is absolutely crucial. If I could give myself one piece of advice when I started at Glasgow University, would be to engage more in the student activities, the student newspaper, student radio. I had a lot of friends who were involved in these, but I always kind of ducked out of them because I was having too much fun in the social scene, and also to concentrate more on learning languages. I think that is such an important part of my life these days, and it would have been a great time to have kicked off that journey.